So for that chapter, so anything we do from now, please take it seriously. We'll check the classification of IPv4. We'll check how to assign IP addresses, the difference between private and public. So it's a very good one. So all this IP stuff, we use it at which level? The layer 3, network layer. At the network layer. And the device we find at the network layer is called what? A router. And the PDU we find at the network layer is called a packet. So don't forget about it. So you know all these things, how to configure basic stuff, you know. What else? So IP, network access, okay. It's very important. We'll do that a bit later. So today we're going to do something very important called the router. And the ARP we'll do a bit later. Last time I did explain a bit. I know the IP for chapter 9, ARP. I know the IP, but I don't know the MAC address. So the system will broadcast to check, hey guys, this is an IP address. If it's you, please send me your MAC address. I need it. And if it's your IP, you'll send your MAC and it will go to the sender. That's all for chapter 9. But we'll have time also to do that, no worries. Admit. So today is something very important called the router. So we're going to have a look. So we did study the switch. Now we're going to study the router. Yeah, so you see, remember the OSI layers, physical. The PDU we find is called bit, and it's anything relating to the media, layer 1. Layer 2, called data link. We switch, and we study the switch, and the switch manages the frames and the MAC address or the physical address. Now we are talking about the network layer. The device managing that network is called the router, and the PDU we find at that level is called packet. And in packet, we deal more with logical IP. So quickly have a look, 1 minute, and we continue. So today is about chapter 10, the router. Let's start. I go down, and down. What is that chapter of mine? Yeah. So this is a router, a Cisco router. If you have your topology, your small network, you have end devices and intermediary devices. So the router, all the devices will get linked to the switch. The switch will get linked to the router, and the router will allow you to go to the internet. So today, this is the big boss, the router. So this is an example of router, a picture. Also at CPUT, we did check a bit. We did check the background, the back. The front of the router is something like that. Saturday again, when we meet there, I'm going to ask you questions about what we did Saturday when we were checking this equipment. I'm going to ask you questions to check if you understand.
Excuse me, Vaughn. Just to Max, sorry.
Max, yes. No problem.
Max, sorry. Just to go over it again quickly, you mentioned that we're not at CPUT next week Saturday, but this Saturday we are there.
No. This Saturday, okay, let me open. So can you see my calendar now?
Yeah.
Saturday the 8th, we are at
Yeah.
CPUT.
Okay. Perfect.
Saturday the 15th, all Saturdays, we are always at CPUT. Any Saturdays at CPUT. So next week, only Monday the 10th and Wednesday the 12th that I'm not available, so no class. Only
Okay.
next week, Monday and Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
10th and 12th.
Yes. So
Perfect. Thank
please,
you.
no problem. Please take that week to finish your three three chapter exams. You have three. I'm going to show you again. What is my letter card? Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to log on. Uh, which account is here? Has so many accounts. I need to. Um, okay, it's not this one. I close here. I close this one. I go to yours. Yours is where? Uh, yeah, yours is here. Come here. Okay, so this is yours. So yeah, your first exam after chapter 1, 2, 3, you have your first exam. You can do it many times until you get a good mark. The second one that you need to finish also next week is after chapter 5. After chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, you have another exam, Internet concept exam. You can do it many times until you're happy. The third exam after chapter 8, 9, 10, you have a third exam. Please finish them latest next week, Saturday. So you still have, let's almost 2 weeks. So 3 days plus 7 days, 10 days to finish three chapter exams. If you don't do them, you're going to have some problems, because when you start IPv4, you get lost. While you're busy at chapter 14, now you're busy with chapter, you see, you'll get lost. So please, don't forget. I'm going to post in the WhatsApp group so that you can finish. Okay, so we know the router with this device. It's like a PC. It's something like a switch. They all like similar to a PC. They have a CPU inside. For those who did IT essentials or A plus and plus. The CPU, we have an operating system. What's the name of the operating system in this device?
Is it iOS?
Very good. And what iOS stand for? You can Google it, no problem. Hmm. So if you have a Samsung phone, your operating system is Android. If you have an Apple phone, it's iOS. If it's a router or a switch, we call it also iOS. But this one is not Apple stuff. It's Internet Working Operating System for networking. And we have some memories inside. Then all this stuff we'll check later. It's just to show you that inside the router, it's like a PC. In the RAM is that device that allows you to display something on your screen. So we'll see. Yeah, we're going to study. Everything is in AutoCAD. I'll try to explain a bit later. So we have some memories inside, and let me check chapter 10 if it's there. Uh, Let me close all these guys. 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 Close Then I come to CCNA1. You go to labs. No, no. Chapter 10, basic router configuration. Let's see what is there. Save. Okay, save. But this guy, he keeps on asking me while sign in. I did sign already. Okay, let me try another account, see if this one is still valid. Let me check. Okay, this one is this one. So basic router configuration. Let me see. Okay, before we come to the configuration, I just want to check something for you. Packet tracer, okay. Okay. Okay, it's a very short chapter. Okay, so I'll show you a bit later. So what you need to know is a router is like a PC. We have anything that a PC has, like CPU, operating system, memories. In the memories, we're going to keep information. The RAM, when you power on your, you see, what you see now is called the RAM. If ESCOM is not happy and want to go home, then we lose everything, the RAM. No ESCOM, no nothing, you lose everything. It's volatile. The ROM is non-volatile. We have some information of the system itself, and we have NVRAM, non-volatile. So when you power on your switch, your switch or your router or your switch will look for this file. It's where we save our configuration. Copy run start. It's saved here. So it's going to bring it up. So we'll study a bit later all the component of the router a bit later. I think there is another chapter for that. Yes, CCNA2. Yeah, we'll check that at CCNA2. Let me check if it's there. Who wants to log on? Let me check here. Yeah, CCNA2 we have we have yeah, we have a chapter for router. So what we did now is introduction to routing. But later on we have basic switch, routing concept. So CCNA2, we go deeper. Let me check. Mhm. Maybe we remove it this year. Okay, anyway, we removed it. So now let's start basic routing configuration. So read this 1 minute quick, what we will do. It's very, very important to know that. So in this chapter, we're going to check some basic configuration, same thing like a switch, the same thing. What is new? We're going to configure the interfaces of the router. And we're going to talk about something called default gateway. Let me explain to you what is default gateway. Very simple. This is my packet tracer. So you see, I have my packet tracer here. Plus, okay. I have my router here, and I have my switch. My switch is here. So all these devices connected. So this router has two interfaces, gig 000 and gig 001. has two interfaces. So any device that is linked to G000 is called default gateway. So this G000 is the default gateway of any assets in this area. That's why if you want to configure a PC, if I open it and I go to IP configuration, something we'll do a bit later, we're going to assign the IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. It means if you want to go out of the room or out of the office, what is the door you're going to use to go outside? The gateway. If you want to leave this network, you want to go to another network, you must go through this point. We call it the default gateway. Okay. If you had devices in this area, here, all these devices, they have default gateway G001. So default gateway, we'll need it. A DNS server is a server that will match or map a name to an IP address. We know that any device to communicate in the network, we need IP address, but we cannot memorize them. But for example, if you want to go to cisco.com, are you going to memorize 171.122.abcd? No, but at least cisco.com, you know. So if you do cisco.com, the DNS server will say, you want to go to cisco.com. Me, I know the real IP address. I'm going to change cisco.com to that IP address. So a DNS server is very important in a company. If you don't have it, no internet. It's something we're going to study a bit later also. Let's jump in. Configuring initial router settings. It's the same thing like we did for the switch. How to configure the host name, the device name, global config mode, host name, and you add a name. Configure the device name. To secure the privilege mode, in the global config mode, enable secrets, we did that. To secure the user mode or the console mode, line console 0, password, and you enter your password and login. There is something we'll be doing also, is called how to secure the telnet, a remote session. Then we do everything you configure is in the global config mode. In the global config mode, line VTY04, password, you enter your password, login, then transport input, you have a choice between SSH, that is more secure, and telnet. So it's up to you to choose. You can use telnet, it's fine, but SSH is more secure. For a remote session, we'll do that also. If you want to encrypt all your plain text password, in the global config mode, service password encryption. To set up the banner. So 2 minutes, check this one again, and we continue. It's the same thing we did for the switch. Mhm. Okay, We continue. So this is a full example of configuration. In the global config mode, host name R1, and to add a name to your router. Enable secret class to protect the privilege mode. Line console 0, password Cisco login. You exit is to protect the user mode or the console mode. Line VTY04, password. You can use 04, 05, or 0, and the maximum should be 015, not more than 15. So you can use any number. Password Cisco login. Transport input. You have a choice between SSH and Telnet. You exit to encrypt everything, all your clear text password, service password encryption. If you want to add the banner message of the day, MOTD, you start with a character, you end with the same character, and you enter what you want to type.
Max, sorry.
Yes.
Max, you said that you said the line VTY, ne? It goes from 0 to 15, 15, or 50.
Okay. I'm going to open something for you. This is a router now. I'm going to open it. You can zoom in. And I think we did that on Saturday now. If you want to add a card, you know how to do. So go to CLI, command line interface, and I'm going to configure a telnet. Yeah, a telnet, for example. I put no here.
A VTY.
Yeah, telnet is also called VTY. Telnet. So enable conf key line VTY question mark. You see, I have to enter a number between 0 and 15. If I say,
Got
for
it.
example, 0 space question mark, you see, I have to enter a number between 1 and 15. So
Okay.
I can say 10. You see, it takes it. Okay. So what does it mean? If you say 0 to 10, it means how many people at the same time remotely can log on the router.
Okay, sessions.
Yeah, the session. A maximum of 11 people can 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 log on remotely in the router. If I say 0, 3, how many people can simultaneously log on the system?
The maximum will be 3 at the same time.
Okay, look here. 0, 10, the maximum is 11.
Huh.
Yeah. And here 0,
0,
3, maximum will be
4.
very good. The maximum
So
will be
0,
4.
so 0 would be your first encounter or your first session.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you can add any number, it's up to you. What is most important is what is next, question mark. You have a lot of stuff that you can use, but for us, we're going to use our password. You enter your password. Please don't forget your password. You must document, write it down. You say, pick a piece of paper. The telnet password is this. That password, if you don't do that, every year students they are lost. How can you be an engineer and you forget, will fire you? You see. So you must document your password. Password is cool. Now, transport input, question mark. I have a choice between SSH and Telnet. So for us, for now, we use Telnet. Login, and we have login here. So for example, if you want to view, if you're here, you type question mark, it's going to list all the commands that you can use. But if you know that I want to see all the command starting with L, L for Lima. you tap L, uh, L, if you want to, like that, and a question mark. Then it will show you only the command starting with L. You can use login and you say login and login in. Then you tap login, you press enter. If there is no error message, it means all good. Okay. So this is an example of something that we'll be doing also. So guys, this one, any lab will be doing for 6 months will do the same thing. Hostname with 3 password, password encryption, message of the day, saving your files. So this one, we're going to repeat it for 6 months until we start CCNA4, that is cybersecurity. So we'll get a lab to do that. So I think on Saturday we'll do that. I'll let you know which lab that we'll do on Saturday. Now, something that is new for the router is interfaces. So you see this router has 2 interfaces. G000 facing this side, the left network, and G001 facing the right network. So we need to configure them. And when you configure them, the value will be added in all the PCs and the switch if we need to. How to configure an interface? It's very simple. In the global config mode, internet gig, you tap exactly the name. You can say gig 000 or gig ethernet. Then you can say description, facing my left LAN, it's up to you. Description, link to LAN. This is the LAN, local area network. IP address. Then we need to add the IP address that will be given to you in the question paper and the subnet mask. For now, forget about subnet mask. I think last time I did explain to you, a subnet mask will allow you to know this IP belongs to which network. It's like all students who want to enter at CPUT, we all have a student card. We all have a IP, a student card. Now, how the security guard will say, or will see that, okay, you belong to engineering. It will be the subnet mask. So you get your student card plus another small document linked to your card. Or you'll get your student card and at the back, you'll have a color. If education department, the color is white, at the back of your student card, it will be white. If your department is finance, commerce, and the color is blue at the back. So when you have a student card, it's not only your name, your number, but at the back, we need a color so that if someone picks up a student card somewhere, he will see your name, your details. But if he sees that your color is orange, you know that, orange colors, it belongs to IT department. Then I'm going to the IT department to drop that card there. So the subnet mask is a number that will allow us to know this IP belongs to which network. You can never get an IP without a subnet mask. You will never get a student card without at the back the color code, because the color code will allow anyone to know, you're busy studying engineering or medical science or anyone. Extremely important. We'll study that a bit later. That's why at a later stage, if you need to configure a PC like IP configurations, we have a normal IP address, subnet mask, and UFO gateway. DNS server, we can leave it for now. If it's mentioned in the question paper, it's fine. Else, yeah. So an example of how to configure an interface, it's very simple. In the global config mode, you go to the interface name. You can add a description to show you. Maybe you did the config 10 years ago or 5 years ago. You can't remember this interface goes where. Description and something. You add your IP address, no shutdown. Sorry, no shutdown. It means you're switching on the interface, like we switch on to the light in your bedroom. You switch on, there is light. You switch off, it's on. So if you tap no shutdown, it's like you are switching on with a light. You're bringing this interface up to be operational, to work. So let's do an example. So first thing, let's check this 1 minute, and we continue. Hi, 1 second. There is a student. She says she's not in. Danielle. Uh, how come she's not in? I close here.
Hello. Hi, Max. It's Danielle. I just got in.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so please, it's something we'll be doing all the time again. Very important. I'm going to do an example with our packet tracer here. So 1 second. Daniel, can you please confirm in the WhatsApp group that you are connected? Because if one sees that, he will say that why I'm not allowing you in. So please confirm that you're in and you can. Thank you. Okay, this is a router. This router has two interfaces. Okay, you open it, you end. Now, if I want to view all interfaces I have on my router or even on my switch, there is a command we need to type. I'm going to show you. You type sh for show. Okay, I'm going to put everything. Show IP interface brief. So this command, if you type this command, is going to display all the ports that are available on your router. So I'm going to press enter. So I'm not configuring, I want to view. Then I'm in the privilege mode. You see, show IP interface brief is a command you're going to use a lot. So on that router, I have gig 000, gig 001, gig 002, and a VLAN interface. So I have 4 interfaces. So for now, only the first one and the second one are connected to something. You see, only these two are connected to something. We're going to configure the first one, gig 000. You open your router. So instead of typing show IP interface brief, you can also type sh for show int br. If you type this also, you press enter, it will give you the same. So check that quick and we continue. Okay, we continue. So show IP interface brief is a new command that you'll be using a lot. Let's configure. So I see there is this interface, and then you can configure it. So const interface. I'm going to configure the first one. You can type the whole name or only the first letter, and you see interface the 0/0/0. I can put a description, facing left network. You can add anything, it's up to you. It's just a description. Then IP address 192, it will be given to you in the question paper. 168.10.1. And as you know, any IP address comes with a subnet mask. So 255.255.255.0. You press enter, there is no error message. Now you can tap no shutdown to bring that interface up. No shutdown. You press enter. Now you save and do copy, run, start. You press enter. You see. So this is how we configure an interface. Now let's go and check. It was red before, now you can see it's green. That interface was red. So if you see red, it means either you didn't configure yet, or you didn't tap no shutdown, or you did configure but it's wrong. So always don't forget the no shutdown and configure a correct IP address. If your IP address is wrong, you're going to assign that wrong IP address to everyone, you see. So make sure everything is correct. So this is what we call a default gateway and how to configure an interface. I think that's all for this chapter. You see that show IP interface brief. And also, if you do the show IP interface brief, I'm going to show something else. First thing first, yeah, check this one and we continue. Okay. So I'll explain to you the IPv6 a bit later, but for now, let us focus on IPv4. So we go back to our packet tracer. Before, when we tap show IP interface brief, this interface, G000, we can see IP address unassigned. It means there is no IP address assigned. And you see some protocol down. Now that we made the configuration, let us exit again, show IP interface brief. We press enter. Now you can see that we did configure this interface. This is the IP we added. Status app, protocol app. Status app, it means you did type no shutdown. Protocol app, it means it's connected. There is a cable that is connected to something else, like we switch, the app. We check that also, and we continue. Okay. Sometimes I pause for you to have a look to understand. If you have question, you ask. So from time to time, I'll pause for maybe 20 seconds or 1 minute for you to. So if you want to view the show stuff, show IP interface brief, you can also type show IP route or show interfaces. So all the descriptions are here. So you can also check that for 1 minute and we continue.
Sorry, I just have one question.
Your name, please, Sisi?
Daniel.
Yeah, sorry, Daniel.
Yes.
Okay, Daniel,
I just
yes.
want to when you do the configuration here, you don't name the router.
Yeah, you can name the
At
router.
the end of-
Just because here, I just want to show you how to configure an interface. But normally, before that, we should do the basic configs, host name, the 3 password, the banner, encryption, and saving everything you do. And after that, you start configuring anything else. Eh, So all depend on the question paper. If it asks you to do so, you do. If it don't ask you, you just follow the questions and what we tell you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, pleasure. So please, these comments are new and we use them a lot. Okay. Yeah, these are some examples. Show IP interface brief, you know. But now let's keep show IPv6 interface brief. We'll do later. Show IP route. If you type show IP route, it's going to list all the networks or all the directions the router knows about. We're going to explain if you see C, what does it mean? So any network has a letter. It means this C means directly connected. L, it means the real IP address of that interface. And so we'll check that also later. With show IP route, it will show all the routes or all the networks or all the directions the router knows about. It's like you go to an airport and you want to go to China. Someone will say, okay, go to the left side, gate number 10. Another one will come, okay, I want to go to Dubai. Okay, go to gate 20. You'll see Dubai Airways there. You want to go to see Mr. Trump to US? Okay, go to gate number 25. So all the routes, I know all the directions, so that if I receive a packet, I'm going to compare to my route, my destination. That's why when a packet arrives at the router, we have the destinations. Where do you want to go? And the router will check here. If you know, okay, you want to go to Dubai, use that network, use that route. So this one is about show IP route, very important. And show interface. Show interface and the interface name. It will give you a lot of information about that interface. Who want to log in? It will show you a lot of information about that interface. Show IP interface and yeah. So the default gateway, I did explain to you. Always, guys, PC3 and PC4, you see we are connected to G001. So G001 will be the default gateway for these guys, anyone here. If you take PC1 and PC2, their default gateway is G000. So the IP address of G000 you'll enter in PC1 and PC2. Also on the switch, if you log on remotely, you need a default gateway. So at a later stage, we'll see how to add a default gateway in the switch. You just tap IP default gateway. You see, if you're in the switch, in the global config mode, you tap IP default gateway and the IP address of G000. So please read this, it's very important. We'll do that also. Okay, so it's something, you can see that we are going deeper, deeper now, slowly, slowly, slowly. That's why I want you next week to finish with 3 chapter exams. If you skip them, you'll get lost because we're going deeper and deeper. You see, we have another packet tracer. We'll do all this on Saturday. So that's all for this chapter. It's the router basic configurations. We know the basic configurations and also how to configure the interfaces and how to view your configuration on that interface. That's all for this chapter. Any questions before I introduce you to something else? So network head, you go to your introduction, very important, you must read. Then also, what did I learn? The summary of this chapter. So you see, the 5 stars, and we call them the 5 stars. We call them the configure the initial router settings, configuring the device name, the 3 passwords, encrypting, banner, message of the day, and saving. So for 6 months, anytime we touch a switch or a router, if it's mentioned in the question paper, we'll do them. But most of the time, 90%, it's there. When you are done, configure the interface, configure the default gateway, view your comment. So you can read this one quick and we continue. Okay, you can read yourself. I want to introduce you to IPv4. IPv4, the chapter 11, just 10 minutes, it won't take long. Just an introduction for IPv4. So chapter 11 is IPv4. It's where we're going to study the IP addresses. Reactivate. Why this guy will say reactivate? No, I don't need that. IPv4. It's like cell phone numbers. So next, in 2 weeks' time, we'll check how numbers are with structure, unicast, broadcast, multicast, different type of IP address, IPv4 addresses, public address, I did explain to you, public, private, and reserved, network segmentation, subnet, how to calculate subnet. This chapter is extremely important. It's the most important in CCNA1. So this one we'll do later. I'm not going to show you now. Just to let you know that I'm going up again. Oh, it's far. I think it was at the beginning. Yeah, somewhere here. So for IP addresses, as you know, any device in the network has two addresses. The physical MAC and the logical. So the MAC address is layer 2, the switch, we can never change. The router deals with IP addresses. You can change it, like your cell phone number, you can change. So for IP addresses, we have two types, IPv4 and IPv6. That's why in your course, you'll see chapter 11 IPv4, chapter 12 IPv6. We're going to study them. And yeah, so we'll see the classification of IPv4, class A, class B, class C, how to assign IP addresses manually, like what we did now, and dynamically via a server. We'll also study what is a private IP, what is a public. Public, we can go to the internet, routable. Private, we cannot go to internet. We'll also check NAT, network address translations, how to hide a private to use a public to go to the internet. And we'll also check what is a subnet mask. So yeah, we have a lot to do, but we go step by step. Step by step. Any questions before we end the session? Okay, thank you very much, guys. Have a good evening, and we'll meet again Saturday at CPUT.